All right, let's talk about Apple. If you're an Apple user, chances are you've got years, maybe even a decade of your life stored in iCloud, all your photos, all your memories. But have you ever actually tried to download a local copy of everything? Today, we're diving into why that process is so incredibly, frustratingly broken, and, more importantly, the really clever open source tool that fixes it.
So you know the drill, right? You go to privacy.apple.com, you put in a request for all your data, and a few days later, ding! You get that email. Your archive is ready. Sounds great. Sounds simple. You're thinking, awesome, I'll just grab my 10+ years of photos and have a nice, safe backup. But anyone who's actually tried this with a big library knows what happens next.
Yeah, the reality is a bit of a nightmare. Instead of one big, easy file, you get this web page with dozens, sometimes hundreds of links to these huge 20-gigabyte zip files, and you have to click every single one. But it's not just tedious. The whole system is so fragile that for any library of a decent size, it's pretty much guaranteed to fail.
So why? Why does it break all the time? Well, it's not just random bad luck. There are 3 very specific technical reasons this whole thing is just designed to fail. And these aren't just little glitches. They're baked right into how Apple's privacy portal works. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. The whole mess boils down to these 3 things. Your login session expires, the download links themselves just vanish, and there is absolutely no way to resume a download if it gets interrupted. Let's break down each of these roadblocks one by one.
First up, we've got dying sessions. So Apple's website uses these session cookies that time out after about, say, 40 to 60 minutes if it thinks you're inactive. Here's the kicker. Downloading a massive file doesn't count as activity. So, if that 20-gigabyte file takes longer than an hour to download on your home internet, which, let's be real, it almost definitely will, your login just dies in the middle of the transfer. The link becomes useless and boom, download failed.
The second problem is what I like to call vanishing links. When you click one of those download buttons, Apple creates a temporary link for you. But that link has a super short fuse. It's only good for about 10 to 20 minutes. That means you can't just right-click and open all the links in new tabs and let them run. Nope. By the time your first couple of files are done, all the other links you opened are already dead.
And this one is the one that causes the most rage quits. There are no second chances. See, Apple's servers don't support a really common web technology called HTTP byte range requests. That's just a fancy way of saying resume. It's what lets download managers pick up where they left off. Without it, if your download fails at 99% complete, you got to start all over again. From zero. It is incredibly frustrating.
So after hearing all that, you might be thinking it's totally hopeless. But it's not. The good news is, where there's a frustrating technical problem, there's usually a really clever technical solution. So let's shift gears from the problem to the hero of this story, an open source tool that was built specifically to solve every single one of these issues.
It's called the Apple Privacy File Downloader, and its job is simple. It automates the entire crazy process. It makes the whole thing something you can just set and forget. It's resumable, it's safe from those timeouts. It basically takes back control from a system that feels totally out of your control.
So how in the world does it actually pull this off? Well, the tool is brilliant because it has a smart, automated strategy to tackle each of those 3 technical hurdles we just talked about. So, to fight those dying sessions, the tool uses what's called a keep alive strategy. Every 90 seconds, it sends a tiny little ping to Apple servers just to say, hey, I'm still here, which keeps the session cookies fresh. It even has a hidden browser tab that reloads the privacy page every 8 minutes. This combo keeps your login alive pretty much indefinitely. And for the vanishing links problem, the tool uses a just-in-time approach. It's smart. It doesn't try to grab all the links at the very beginning. Instead, it clicks a download button literally seconds before it's ready to download that specific file. And get this, while that file is downloading, it's already clicking the next button in the list every 5 minutes, just to keep its link fresh and ready to go.
Now for the no second chances problem. Since the tool can't magically change Apple servers to allow resumes, it just built its own system. It's simple but effective. When a file part finishes downloading successfully, the tool creates a tiny little file right next to it with a .done extension. So if the whole thing ever stops, your internet cuts out, you restart your computer, whatever, you just run the script again. It sees those .done files and skips everything that's already finished, picking up right where it left off.
So when you put it all together, you get this one seamless automated process. You log in one time, you start the script, and then you can just walk away. It handles everything, keeping you logged in, getting fresh links, downloading reliably, and keeping track of its own progress so you can stop and start whenever you need to.
Okay,
So this isn't just about a cool script that saves you a headache. This whole situation actually plugs into a much bigger, much more important idea. What does it really mean to own your data in this day and age? This quote from the creator of the Cool just hits the nail on the head. A company can say they're giving you access to your data, they can put a button on a page, but if the process of actually using that button is functionally broken, is that really meaningful access?
You see, it doesn't really matter if these technical barriers are intentional or if they're just an oversight. The effect is exactly the same. Most normal people are going to get frustrated, they're going to give up, and they're never going to get their data. It creates a world where you have a right to your data in theory, but not really in practice.
And, really importantly, this solution respects your privacy completely. The tool runs 100% on your own computer. Your data is downloaded directly from Apple to your hard drive, period. It never passes through some third-party server, your login stays local, there are no passwords stored anywhere, and the whole thing is completely open source, so you can go and read every single line of code yourself to verify it's doing exactly what it says it's doing.
So, we'll end with this thought. We're always told, your data is yours. It's a fundamental digital right. But this whole situation really forces us to ask a tough question. If the front door to getting your data is technically unlocked, but it's barricaded with all these invisible walls that make it impossible to get through, can you really say you own what's on the other side?